Hey guys, just wanted to come on here and say before the video gets started that originally we had planned to work on Elliot's cage and have some updates in this video on it, but some things came up where we couldn't work on it recently, so there's nothing on Elliot's cage in this video. There will for sure be updates on this cage in next video because I'm going there Saturday. But this video is just going to be me working on my own truck, so thank you guys for watching and I hope you like it. Okay guys, I'm back with another shop update video. I have a whole list of things to do to my truck to get it ready for the year. We're going to go back over to Elliot's house, hopefully finish his cage within this video, and then I'll also show you guys whatever else I'm working on while I film this video. But it's time to get started on this thing finally. Let's do it. So like I said, I have a whole list of things to do to this truck to get it ready for the year. I've kind of developed like a maintenance schedule for this thing. There's certain things I change every single winter. For example, the spherical bearings on my front suspension, those things, that kit just eats through them for whatever reason, and I gotta change those every winter. Certain things get replaced as they need to be replaced. Other things are kind of on a 1 or 2 year schedule. Shocks, my coilovers are fresh, my bump stops are pretty fresh, but all the bypasses could use a rebuild. So I'm gonna rebuild my front bypasses, I'm going to rebuild my rear bypasses, and I'm excited about the rear bypasses because I've wanted to add some compression valving to those for 2, maybe 3 years now, and it's nothing crazy, but when I see videos of this thing jumping pretty big, the landing always looks like the rear could use a little bit more compression. Whenever a jump has a good landing, like a good downslope to land into, I do just fine. But it's whenever we find a jump that isn't so good or I overshoot it like an idiot, that's when I feel like the truck would benefit with a little bit more compression. And I don't want to add too much, but I think adding a little bit would be a good idea. Oh my god. You know what's freaking heavy? Big old bypass shocks. These are a 3.5 by 18. I can't imagine doing like a 4.5 or a 4.4 or even a 4.0. Alright, I took the nitrogen out to get these off of the truck, but now I'm going to shoot some air in here. There we go. Just to put pressure on the seal head and keep it from spinning when I break the dust cap loose from it. Need a freaking ladder. Let me see if this is the same size Allen as the Kings we just did for Caleb's truck. Left the tools up, so I knew this was coming. Yes, it is. It came loose. Cool. There's a big benefit to not driving your off-road truck with big expensive parts on it through the salt in the wintertime. Dust cap broken loose. Alright. Anybody want to do some roofing? Okay, I got the air out. Now I need to push the seal head down into the shock so I can get the snap ring out. And if I remember right, these shocks hit the ceiling before they come apart. Alright, I decided because of how long these shocks are and my ceiling and not having something readily available to stand on top of, I just put them on their side like this. I'm risking spilling oil and making a mess, but I think it's going to be a lot easier to get these apart. And I think this is what I did last time around too. So we're ready to try to get this thing out. Okay, so I've taken the dust cap and threaded it back onto the seal head now that there's an edge here because it's out like a 1/2 inch. I'm going to use that edge with something soft like wood and try to use that as a way to pound this out. Hey, there it is. Oh yeah. These shocks hold about a gallon. So we've got a lot of oil that's going to come out of here. Okay, so I got the whole shaft assembly in the vise now. I just took the nut off the top, and what I like to do is just take the whole piston off in one go like that. And if I wasn't changing any shims, I'd just set it down and then just put it right back on after we change all the seals and everything goes back together. But we are changing shims, so what I need to do here is top shims are rebound, bottom shims are compression. So I'm gonna flip this thing upside down, put it like this, and now I'm gonna take them all off and put them in order so I don't screw anything up here. And then once they're all off, I'm going to measure their diameter and thickness with tools like this, and we will come up with a game plan here of what I want to add or change to add compression valving to this. Check that out. See how it's a 015? I am betting that every single one of these shims is going to be a 15, but let's find out. Looks like I was right. These are all 015 thickness, and you can see here I wrote all of our diameters down in order, and these numbers aren't exact, but they're close enough that when I go to buy shims online, I will know what to order based off of these numbers. When you're adding valving, whether it be compression or rebound, basically what you need to do is add thickness. So you can do that by adding shims to the stack, or by changing the shims out for thicker shims, or both. And then obviously if you're looking to take valving out, you would do the opposite. But I've done it both ways. On Bear's front Foxes, we added a couple shims. We bought a couple individual shims. I think his stack was like that, and we made it more like that. And it worked out great. On Caleb's and Elliot's King Shocks, we just took the whole 15 stack out and bought an 020 stack and put that in instead, and it also worked great. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with mine yet, but I'm gonna look online, see what my options are, and then I will let you guys know as soon as I know for myself. Alright guys, we're back. It's been a few days. I made a decision, I ordered parts, and they're here now. So I decided to just add shims to the stack we already have. I'm adding 2 shims, one that's the same diameter as those 3, and one that's the same diameter as those 2. And I thought about just adding the one, or even adding that one, and a third that's the same diameter as this one. But I don't want to add too much, and I also don't want to add too little, so hopefully I've made the right decision. Worst case scenario, I can pull them back apart and change it after our first dune trip if I don't like what it did, but this thing is actually ready to go back together now. I've already changed the seals in the seal head and the dust cap. I've changed the seals in the reservoir and the shock body, so we're good to go. Let's get this thing together. And we're ready to start bleeding air out of this. And it does hit the ceiling, but just enough to clear. Now that I've done that over and over again and I'm happy with it, I'm gonna leave this up like that, but not pull it back out, and then let all the air back out of the reservoir. Now I want to add enough oil to this so that when I push the seal head in, it overflows. Because you don't want any air in there at all. And when I push this in now, it will force, shoosh, it's going to force oil in the reservoir and set our IFP depth. Get our snap ring back in there. Alright, now that that is in there, I'm going to put air back in the reservoir, get that seal head to seal, or not seal, but pop into place. Cool. Now, check this thing for leaks everywhere. As long as that looks good, we'll clean it up and fill it with nitrogen. Oh, and I gotta screw the dust cap on, but you get the point. All right, I got both those shocks done and back on the truck now, and I'm ready to move on to the front suspension. So this year's prep is not so bad. Like I said, I have to change all 4 spherical bearings every year. That kit just eats through them for whatever reason. Tie rod heims last like 2 years, so those are due. New jam nuts for those. And I got new nuts for every bolt I'm taking off. So if a bolt looks good to me, I'll reuse it, but I always change the nuts. Everything else up here is pretty fresh. The coilovers got rebuilt last year. Those heims last like forever, and I just changed them last year. Same with the lower arm bushings. Those are fresh. But I was thinking about rebuilding the bypasses right now, but the more I think about it, the more I think I'm gonna wait until after our first dune trip, because I wanna feel what the compression changes did to the rear. And then maybe I wanna add compression to the front too. So I think instead of rebuilding those right now, I'm gonna wait until after our first dune trip and make a decision and then rebuild them then. But about to get all these parts on there. I don't know how much I'm gonna film because this is pretty boring basic work, but let's get it done. Feel good. Oh, I did not think that was just gonna drop off. Usually I can get them to stay on my leg. Let's see if I can not drop this on my knee this time. Go. The old Wedger 9000 worked again. All right, cool. Just bolted it back together, changed everything I needed to, cleaned it up a little bit. This thing is ready to get abused for another dune season. Like I said, I'm gonna wait on the bypasses. I'm gonna wait until after our first dune trip because I might add some compression, I might not, but I'll post a video when I do so you guys will see it. Put the wheel back on. I'm gonna drive it to work tomorrow. It's supposed to be really nice out, and align it. Then I need to change engine oil, need to change diff oil, clean it up, and this thing is ready for the dunes.